This is a perfectly functional dual fan here. Looks very practical. It can pivot this way, and the lower can also pivot this way and this way. And there's nothing wrong with it. It was donated away because the owner decided that this was unacceptable. In the condition it was given to me. I tried, it was full of dust, like everywhere. I tried to blow it out, it wasn't working. Then I put it in the bathtub while unplugged, okay? Put it in the bathtub, try to clean it with a shower and a jet of water. It's still lacking. So I took it apart. The nameplate is on the underside, looking like this. On the back side here, there are 4 screws along the perimeter here. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, like there's 2 of them on the floor. And then you can access the front grille. This kind of muck needs to come off with a brush. There's no way around it. You can see some of this still sticking to surfaces. It was thickly covered with fuzz. I also want to wash the blades, and this needs access like this, and lubricate the bearings. So let's go. All right, progress check. So it's obviously clean here where it's easy to brush it, but not so clean on the blades. It's kind of sticking to it. And this one here, same situation, still to be done, but looks like maybe a little less filthy. So yeah, that's what I mean by it's fully immersed. Yes, it's wearing away some of the lubricant on the motor, but that's why it's gonna be re-lubricated. The crud, some of the crud, like this kind of stuff, needs rubbing. There's no 2 ways about it. And then you can see the floating crud leaving the area. So needs a little bit of soaking and quite a bit of finger power. Same here on the propeller blade, both sides on the propeller blade. So I can feel the top is done, but I can feel the underside is still gritty, and that side is undone. So needs soaking and then rubbing in a few minutes time. So it's understandable why the previous owner with I don't know, limited strength and maybe limited imagination just didn't want to do this hassle. So this worked to a great degree. It's a lot cleaner than ever before, something like that. Nevertheless, it's you know, going in for 1 round of dishwashing. Let's see. Yeah, it did wash away quite some crud from the fan housing. So let's give it a twirl. So let's have a look. See, after all that immersion, stuff is still sticking on it, and I think this can be removed with a Lysol wipe or something straightforward. Yeah, it's still gross, kinda, but and the blades are still imperfect, although getting better. And very importantly, I'm gonna run it here to dry everything. There. Yeah, it looks like this RPM is up to speed. This one is, if you look at the center of the shaft there, it's rotating slower. So lubrication is gonna come next right after everything is dried there, like the motor itself on both fans. So obviously the fan works despite being washed in water, etc. and now the motor is at least clean. And for lubricating the bearings, I need to just take out one bolt there, the opposite one over there, same here, one on one side and the other one on the other side. Let's go. So came out of the dishwasher. Obviously the chrome finish dissolved in the hot water and reacting with the dish soap, but are they clean? Oh yeah, impeccable. That's super duper top-notch, healthy, uncontaminated plastic, so you can breathe in air that's actually clean. Yes, it's been prettier before, yeah. So I have removed those screws, and right now the rotor can be just pulled out like so. That's all there is to it. Now the screws are actually bolts looking like this, and they have these washers underneath, springy, so don't lose them. And I've taken out two more screws. Oops, there, those two, and they were here because I wanted to tilt this just forward like so. So the wiring is still intact. There is clamped down with that clamp screw there, so the wires run right there. So I'm not trying to stress the wiring or break it or whatever. Just wanted to tilt it forward to clean it a little bit with a rag and take out the hairs. Yeah, just minimal amount caught on the grill. And for lubrication, what we're looking here is fairly straightforward then. This part of the shaft here needs to be lubricated, or the bearing. It's a very simple bearing that needs to be lubricated there from the inside here ideally. And same for this guy here. This little plastic washer was here, and when it's fitted together, and this bolt will go through here, and the nut is in here. So that's how they are held together. When they are in place, you get the idea, when they are in place back there. So for lubrication, none of this is rocket science here. I have some whatever oil air here, and just needs a little, like some, and then distribute it or whatever. Oh, there we go. Spin it. So there's definitely some on the underside here. And can be of course repeated from the outside just for good measure. That's nice. It was spinning all right before, but it's not even nicer. Same on the other end. Don't get this too oily, if at all possible. Just don't make it oily at all, because that would be not part of the bearing and is an electrical component, like so. And we are almost ready for reassembly. I'm just gonna put a little more of this. Yeah, like so. A little bit of around and everywhere, just like so. So, reassembly. It's been wiped clean. And I need this part in place, and there, and this part on it, like so, and placing the screw in there. None of this stuff needs any kind of power tools. just hand tools like this. That's tight enough on one side. That's tight enough on the other side. Spinning happily as ever. And then put it back in place with the other two screws that have, instead of a fine thread, these two guys have a coarse thread because they go into plastic. So again, it doesn't need any power tools. It doesn't need any kind of over tightening. Just like that. Yeah, let's plug it in. It's noisier than before, so it's moving more air than before. Job well done. Maybe for the extra fancy, I want to clean the fan blades with something, but I'm happy as is. When it's all assembled, the shaft has a little bit of fore and aft play like this. That's fine, and it should turn easily. So that's the one that I took apart. This is the one that's never been taken apart. It does exactly the same thing. That's normal. Yeah, no, don't take off the fan blade. There's no point to it. It's unnecessary, and that's it could be ridiculously difficult to remove and replace whatever. There's no need. Just take out the bolts. Two on that side, two on the other side. Done in a few minutes.